Football season and basketball season are both coming up, and I might have to make my way to a Wizards game when the Warriors come to town in November to catch Steph live and in person. It's super easy in the Gametime app. You just search for your game, click the seats, and you're basically done. I love Gametime's super deal that you can see the seats before you buy and that they have the low price guarantee.
Y'all know we're busy with two kids, but when we get time to get out of the house, we love going to live events, no matter what kind. I still remember taking Somi to her first basketball game, and it's something I remember for the rest of my life. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets.
The curation of
the Emirates NBA Cup is here. You can win big getting in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. All 30 teams split into 6 groups every Tuesday and Friday, playing for the right to advance in the single elimination in-season tourney, culminating in the NBA Cup championship in Vegas.
We all know Victor Wembanyama is a walking stat line, so I always like to check out his player props. First time, here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins.
Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Jenkins. That's code Jenkins for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours.
We're live.
Welcome to Jenkins and Jonez on the Volume Podcast Network. It is Sunday, November 24th. We got a great episode. We're talking about the new Kendrick album. We're talking about the weekend of sports, and we got Dookie Butt of the Week as always. Jenkins and Jonez is hosted by Dragonfly Jonez, aka Tyler.
Did you hear it?
I got the sentiment. That motherfucker hit the goddamn whistle register. They ain't even think I was
that shit was so. Hey, you got nigga right.
I hit it too hard. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And John, aka LaJethro.
What's that, Bubbas?
I'm Cardi B, aka Mike.
Motherfucking Mike.
And we're produced as always by the lovely and talented Jackson Saffron.
What's up?
Did you see DJ Mustard get hit with the mustard? Did you
in
see
the chat?
it?
Some people call him for mustard, and then Rishi said
Jackson.
We fellas, boy, that I have heard the word mustard yelled by my 11-year-old child upwards of 1,000 times in the last 48 hours. If there is one breakthrough moment already off that fucking album, it is the way he yelled mustard out. But your instant reactions to the new Kendrick album and what the last couple of days has been like for y'all listening.
I love it. My first reaction was, this is the most Los Angeles ass album Kendrick has ever given us.
Period.
Right. And it feels like a seamless transition because from the beef that he had with Drake, right? Because he hopped out here, his whole strategy was, I'm going to attack how you're not of the culture, but I'm of the culture, right? And after Not Like Us, it really pivoted specifically to Kendrick saying, this is what being embraced by the culture looks like. This is how much I love Los Angeles. This is how much Los Angeles loves me, right? And we saw that with the Pop Out, which was just one of the most incredible moments in fucking West Coast rap history. And we hear it on this album. Jackson dropped a thread in the group chat about how Kendrick found there's like mariachi interludes all through the album.
Mm-hmm.
And that just adds such a touch of Los Angeles to it, right? And he found the young lady who's doing those mariachi vocals because he was watching the Dodgers game and she was there for Fernando Valenzuela Memorial Night. You hear the production on it, and the production is so LA, right? It's the LA sound that used to be the Bay sound, right? That made
that hypey shit.
Yeah, exactly. The hypey shit where and you can give a lot of credit to Mustard for that, because Mustard was the one who kind of made the bass sound with the deep bass and the 80s synths. He kind of made that, the modern LA sound with this work he did with YG, for instance.
So,
and of course,
Tyler, somebody tweeted Kendrick really made an evil hyphy album.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was, right? Like it feels like I said, it feels like a continuation of, because like I said, it felt like Not Like Us and the Pop Out, those were like love letters to Los Angeles in some capacity. And that's what this album feels like. It feels very much like Kendrick, appreciating the love, the support, how he's rooted in Los Angeles. That's what this album feels like.
But also is the evil part is like, fuck y'all niggas too, though.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, this is where I'm from. I'm about my niggas. I'm not concerned with y'all other niggas. You know what I mean? And as a nigga that ain't from LA, but who feels that way about his niggas, I fuck with that. Fuck me, nigga. You know what I mean? Don't be concerned with me. Give a fuck about your niggas. And that's a good way to live life. Good for him. You know what I'm saying? I love that. I love Toxic Kendrick. I love Toxic Kendrick. The vibes on this shit were great. It's a fun album. I really feel if you don't like this album, you just a hater. Like, like it's kind of like Good Kid, Mad City, where like if you don't like that, like there's other albums in between, but like Good Kid, Mad City, Damn, this album or album. So I'm like, if you don't like this album, that's a personality decision. I don't know if I like you as a mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if we can hang type shit. Like, you might be a cool dude, but you just might not be my type of nigga for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is one of those particular albums, bro. It's just I don't see how you can't really connect with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like this is stamping something for me. We were talking about it a little bit before, Tyler. You can get into it too. But like, think Kendrick is getting really close to the GOAT, y'all. He getting really close for that to me. And this album, as good as it is, it feels like he just dropped it on some humbug shit. Like, here, like he didn't even have the features listed till 2 days after it dropped. It dropped at like 9:30 a.m. West Coast time. Niggas eating lunch in New York. Fuck numbers, all that shit, nigga. It ain't got no rollout.
Before a holiday week off.
Right. Even other shit he had would have like at least merch shit. Ain't no merch, nothing attached to it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna name this bitch after old school and throw this out for the. That's a real nigga move, bro. And only a person at a particular level could do that and change niggas' days. He dropped this album and niggas' days changed. The weekend is different now. Okay, Kendrick dropped. I went to the barbershop on Friday. And I was walking in and my nigga was playing Larry June, my barber. I thought, and the niggas was in there, he was playing Larry June. And nobody knew Kendrick had dropped yet. I'm like, yo, y'all know Kendrick dropped, right? Nigga, I'm talking about something. Kendrick, you know what I'm saying, nigga? I got to see some real LA niggas. They in Inglewood, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, real LA niggas here for the first time and see how spiritual that motherfucking album was for them, bro. These niggas might as well have been in church, dog. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, bro, I love the album. I love what it did for the folks out here in LA. You know what I'm saying? I love what it said for them. It's a beautiful piece of work for something that I feel like he just dropped that motherfucker on some like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Let's drop this motherfucking 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Good fuck? Crazy.
Tyler, do you want to address John's statement about Kendrick's proximity to GOAT status?
I'm super high on Kendrick, bro. And I've been here for years. This isn't some prisoner of the moment shit just because of this incredible 2024 he's had. But yeah, I've got a few quote unquote hash mark takes about Kendrick. I think he has the best discography of any West Coast rapper ever. I think he's flat out the best rapper to ever come from the West Coast. If we're talking straight up lyricism, I don't think anyone's touching him in that realm. And Kendrick's one of those, like, I've got like a handful of rappers who I've listened to, and I'm like, when this guy is at his peak, I think he might be the best rapper ever for the verse or so that I'm listening to him. And Kendrick's one of them, right? Like, I think it's Kendrick, like that second verse on Fear, bro, who has ever rapped better than that? Who has ever fucking rapped better than that? Then another guy who I have on that tier is Black Thought, like that Funk Flex freestyle. Mm-hmm. Who the fuck has ever rapped better than that? 3000 is in that category for me. Like the part on Aquemini on the title track on that, when the beat comes back and he kills that shit, who has ever rapped better than that? And I would think the other one who like raps out this is for me is Lupe. Like, you listen to Mural, went in for fucking 8 minutes. Like, and Kendrick is on that tier for me. Like I said, when he's one of those guys who, when I listen to him really be on the shit, really black out, I'm like, I don't know if anyone has ever flat out been a better rapper than this dude.
And then he has a superstar shit. Like, some of them people that had a superstar quality. Like, he got that superstar quality. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just interesting. Like, none of his albums mimic the other. Like, there might be pieces of them. You know what I mean? But this every album he could have been a totally different rapper. You know what I'm saying? And they all fucking slap. Like the last one was straight artsy. You know what I'm saying? Like straight art. That shit could have been a fucking play, nigga.
Yeah.
The one before that, damn, was like, I'm gonna show y'all I could be Drake if I wanted to, but I don't give a fuck about that type shit, nigga. I'm gonna make nothing but slaps on this bitch. You know what I'm saying? And this joint right here, it's like, fuck these niggas. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He starts off, nigga, he came as Snoop lightweight, not really, you feel me? And Snoop said, yeah, it was the edibles, my nigga. Like, you feel me? Like,
Snoop is just the most conflict-averse chill dude.
Snoop was like, for him.
I'm glad Kendrick called him out on that, though, because that was some fuck shit Drake was on.
It was some fuck shit, but also he called Snoop out, and Snoop was the nigga that gave him the crown. You remember that moment? Yeah. I fucking cried watching that shit, nigga.
Dog, there's footage that dropped like this weekend of Snoop reasserting that Kendrick is the king of the coast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, Snoop ain't taking that shit. Snoop probably
Wayne
knows
on some shit. A lightweight, when it Wayne took it too personal, bro. Because really all he said was whatever, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you feel some way about my hard work, I earned this shit. I love him standing on that, nigga. But he said he didn't really disrespect. He just said whatever, which niggas need to say whatever again. I love that, nigga. Whatever. You know what I'm saying, nigga? Feel how you feel, nigga. That ain't my motherfucking business. I love it. You know what I mean? Like, dog, there's something really special about this dude, like that it doesn't seem like you can just put it into words. And it is, man, you can just feel it in the fucking music. But gee, it's just crazy how every album's so different, but they all touch you, and they all touch you in different ways. But it's just special.
I think Tyler hit on something though that you clarified too, John, which is you would put him at the highest level of lyricism and art and everything else. And John, you're right. The other people you would really put up there with him, they weren't changing everything. They weren't the only thing the whole country was talking about for 3-4 days after they dropped an album. And he's done this incredible magic trick of, and when has this ever happened in music, that someone reaches superstar status without looking like they're going for it? Like Bob Dylan, like, you know what I mean? Like maybe like, even like the Sex Pistols or these counterculture figures, you could tell there was a like obsession with fame and status and stuff. And Kendrick has pulled this thing off where it's like, he's doing the Super Bowl. He has the biggest album. He has the biggest song. And yet you don't feel like he compromised anything or even that he's all that excited about it. But he's managed to be the most famous guy and say he doesn't like literally only Drake likes being famous without sounding like a hypocrite. And that is such an impossible thing to pull off that we really like. I don't know how many people you could say have done that across genres in music history.
The nigga didn't put the biggest song on the album. That motherfucker changed. Like, that was like a sonic, that was a fucking H-bomb, you know what I'm saying, of a fucking song, and he leaves it off this motherfucker. Like, who moves like that? Who has a song that's record-breaking? And it's like, I'm leaving that over there, nigga. Didn't even mention the nigga's name in this shit. I think when he was trying to, he would always bleep the motherfucker out. Or Paul, you know what I'm saying? Like, the nigga's like, bruh, that dude is different, dog.
Well, I'll say this: not like us not being on the album gives credence to a theory that I'm buying that he's got another album coming.
This is a mixtape. A lot of people are saying it, and it makes sense to me. Go ahead.
And of course, I don't want to be the guy just going off vibes, but I feel like nowadays the way you distinguish a mixtape from an album is vibes, right? It's because it's not like what we would call a mixtape in 2002, where it's just rappers rapping on other rappers' beat, right? Quote unquote mixtapes today are all original production. And you just kind of have to have a feel like, okay, is he really going for the charts on this, or is he just rapping? And it feels like he's just really rapping on this shit. You know what I mean? It feels like this, like, you mentioned how every album from him is different. It feels like every album kind of has an overarching theme. And it feels like the overarching theme on this album was just, y'all ain't fucking with me. I still got it, bro. I just need, I'm going to empty this clip and I'm going to lock back in. That's what it felt like to me.
It felt like an ode to the West. Like, I'm going to take this moment and really, this is for us, nigga. You feel me? This is for my niggas. You know what I'm saying? And then he go, and also like, dog, like like you said, there's no merch. None of that shit. Like, there's none of the shit that's set up like Kendrick with no vinyl. Like, nigga, my Adrian is sick. You're like, where the fucking vinyl at? Like I said, Adrian, like, what nigga went straight to the train. No vinyl shit. You know what I'm saying? He the one that really tipped me to like, yo, people saying it's a mixtape. It might be a mixtape because I went to look for the vinyl, wasn't there. So a lot of shit ain't making sense. Because like I said, he's the biggest Kendrick fan I know. As a nigga that lives in LA and those LA niggas, he's the biggest Kendrick fan that I know. So he like, and he's saying like, this don't feel like a normal Kendrick drop. Yeah, and also there's certain songs that are like, you know, like the joint that sound like pop. The joint that sound like, you know, like that has mixtape vibes. Yeah, that's mixtape vibes where it's like that's more derivative than you would think a Kendrick song is usually. You know what I mean? Whereas another song that feels like other rappers, we've never felt that in Kendrick albums before. Yeah. So like, yeah, man, it's interesting.
Yeah, you know, besides the whole vibes thing, there's a few tangible reasons that lead me to believe that another album is coming. Yeah. For one, there's not Like Us isn't on there. And you don't leave a monster single like
that's crazy,
right? You're gonna throw that on some shit and cash out some more off it, right? And two, Heart Part 6 is on it. And if you're a Kendrick fan, you know the Heart, whenever he drops a Heart, that means the album is coming a few weeks later. That's the goddamn bat signal that I'm about to drop some new shit, right? And for him to have the Heart Part 6 on the actual album, that makes me think that there's it is, it's fucking incredible. We can talk about that too. It makes me think that there's another album coming. And also Super Bowl, bro, like it's just bad business. It is malpractice if you're a Super Bowl performer and you do not drop some new material close or on that very night, right? I just do not see him. That's fucking 8 figures you're leaving on the table if you don't maximize that. You know what I mean?
Practice, nigga.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's that bad. That should be illegal, nigga.
Listen, bro, like if you are a performer at halftime, if you are the topic of discussion in any capacity on Super Bowl Sunday, you need to have some shit in the clip, bro. Like we saw what Beyonce did last year. She didn't even perform. Nigga, it was Usher. She was in the discussion by proxy. She knew that the discussion was going to be after Usher performed. Usher and Beyonce. That's it. Last of a dying breed from a different area. Those are the only two peers. She knew she would be in that discussion during Super Bowl Sunday, and she dropped her album, right? If you are the topic of discussion during Super Bowl Sunday and you do not drop some work, that's malpractice, bro. And I did not see them fumbling like that.
Adrian says some niggas talking about like he's trying to because he's doing the Super Bowl, he's trying to garner attention and shit. I'm like, and that's the point I brought with he's trying to like maximize, I don't know, some shit. It's some lame ass shit. But I was like, bro, like if he was trying to really pimp the moment, he would have dropped this motherfucker on the Super Bowl, like, you know what I'm saying, the weekend of or right after that motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Like so I was like, that don't make no sense. That's why I feel like this shit right here on a random ass Friday morning before the week of Thanksgiving, it's just like, yo, like this is the most I'm not really tripping off this shit way you could drop the album. You know what I mean? In the middle of the day on the East Coast. Come on.
The other thing that the internet is pointing to about a potential second album is in the trailer. There's 2 cars instead of not just 1 car, and also the audio from the trailer is not on the album at all.
For
on the
sure,
mixtape.
Very smart.
Obviously, in the streaming era, the difference between a mixtape, an album length mixtape, and an album is like blurrier and blurrier.
Yeah,
but
it's just vibes. It's did you lock in just because you wanted to rap, or did you lock in because you wanted to make an album and singles and things that you can tour off and all that, right? But really just vibes. Does it feel like an album? You know.
And it is worth noting in this era where streaming is that's how 99% of people are listening to music. It got 44 million streams in the first 7 hours just on Spotify, and it currently has the top 7 spots on the US Spotify streaming chart.
from what could be a mixtape. Also, one thing too is when he drops albums, there's always crazy visuals associated with it. And he dropped this the Not Like Us joint. It had like what 3 seconds of one of the songs. What's it? Was it second or third? Yeah, Squabble Up. He got 3 seconds, like 30 seconds of Squabble Up maybe on that. And we've seen no other visuals for this album. Like we don't see that from Kendrick albums. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
Did you see the reporter asking the reporter who is very underqualified to be talking to DeMar DeRozan about that album, asking him about that?
I see it.
Poor son of a bitch. He was like, oh, surprise album from Kendrick. You know, have you had a chance to listen to it yet? You know, and DeMar's like, yeah, I've been listening to it for a couple weeks, you know, like I'm
like this comping motherfucker.
I'm DeMar DeRozan. Yeah, like I've had the album, but he said something about like the reporter said something like, oh, but the snippet, you know, that was out before wasn't on it. And DeMar was like, it's the second song. It's called Squabble Up. It's on there. Like, it's just
bro, just stop,
but
man.
The look of like,
damn.
The look of cold disdain on his face was so fucking funny to me.
Aubrey sent him. I know it. I know. Drake sent that man.
Oh man.
Okay, question for y'all. Favorite song currently off of the album / mixtape?
I really love Squabble Up. I know that might be the easy answer since we had that snippet since July 4th. I really love Squabble because I feel like they cut off the best fucking part. The sample that they lifted it from, like that was fucking incredible. I love TV Off.
That's my favorite right now, bro.
Yeah, I really love TV Off. And Hey Now is fucking incredible. Like, bro, like I had to go sit in the whip and turn that motherfucker on. When I heard how deep the 808s were sitting, I was like, yeah, let me go hop in the whip, put this motherfucker on. That shit is tough too, bro.
You
But
have
yeah.
the right car for listening to this.
Got 2 12s in the back. That bitch was tough.
You got 2 12s in the back, nigga?
Yeah.
I didn't know you had a beat.
Yeah, gotta have some knocking that bitch. You feel me?
That motherfucker. I didn't know you had that bitch. No, I'm fucking with Gloria too. I like the vibe of Gloria. I will say, I knew he was talking about his pen the moment he called it a woman. Like, I'm like we don't. I really feel like rappers should just be vulnerable and talk about an actual woman. We don't need more songs dedicated to your pen. You know what I mean? Like, it's a fire song, but like I know what's happening. That's when you like have that like reveal in the end. I knew that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I do like the song. You know what I'm saying? I like SZA. I like the feature with SZA. Like both songs that had SZA in them. But yeah, I'm fucking with TV Off. I like Dodger Blue too, man.
Oh yeah, Dodger Blue. That
feel a particular way.
That's the one.
Yeah, and the whip, you know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, that's some real fuck these niggas shit. You know what I mean? Like, I really love her. Even if you're talking about me, I still fuck with the energy, nigga. You know what I mean? Fuck these niggas, but my niggas. You know what I'm saying?
You do travel past the 10, though. I can confirm you travel past.
Oh yeah. When I put my niggas on it and shit, I was past the 10, bro. You feel me? He was like, yo, it was so cool seeing them. Like, I said, Kendrick dropped. These niggas, there was a particular moment where it almost looked like fear. You know what I mean? There was like a look of like Kendrick, like nigga, like what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like all of them know I'm from St. Louis too. You know what I'm saying? Like, how the fuck I ain't know? You know what I mean? Like, you know, so like that was, but gee, like seeing them play that motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Like hearing the songs for the first time, like the straight. You know, he mentioned his shit in the streets and all that shit that they from, that they been, you know what I mean? It just feel a different way. You feel me? So that was dope to see.
I was talking to Vinny about that. Like you could take it for granted growing up in Southern California or Long Beach or Compton or whatever, but I was like, when he's talking about seeing aliens on Rosecrans, I was like, you are on Rosecrans. Like, you know, that's
shout
like,
out to Fabo, man.
Right. It's just like, that's different. Like you have to, I was like, you have to appreciate that it is like when you're lucky enough to actually have the context of what, you know, people are talking about.
Also, I just love that there was like he had like was it not the GNX is what 1987, right?
Yeah.
I love, like I told y'all, like the sign that somebody has made it in life is not like you can get a Porsche, brand new body, all that shit. If you got an old school, I'm like, congratulations to that man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, you did it. You did it, nigga. Like, to me, like, old schools are like, I remember I was talking to Agent about this shit. Remember when I was in, I took a photo of when I was in, Africa, I went to DRC and shit like that in Kenya. In DRC, they carry one of the head chief around on their shoulders. Like, they had like a little throne. I'm like, that's old school to me. When I saw him, I'm like, damn, he got his old school. Like, that's how, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? That's his version of, you feel me? Like, no, that's what it is to me. It's like
carried on people's backs is pretty old school.
Yeah.
That's the oldest fucking mode of transportation.
Yeah, right. yes. But like, I'm like, damn, like for me, like that's your throne. Like you on your throne right now, nigga. Like that's the sign of making it to a country nigga like me. You feel me? So just seeing him, like, I don't know, bro. That it just made me feel a particular way. You know, him standing on that motherfucking old body, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember you had a hilarious but very insightful and very truthful tweet about how during the Rick Ross and Drake beef, when Rick Ross pointed out how Drake didn't have any old schools, and you were like, he got all that money and ain't got an old school, he might be a white man. You know? And-
I don't remember that shit, but that's a fact.
because the thing is, look, bro. Also, some real shit. I feel like him naming his album that and having the old school on the cover. That's a bit more of him digging his feet into the culture. Because I feel like, bro. I feel like, especially if you're black, you have a dream old school that you have wanted since you were a kid.
71 Chevelle, nigga.
Yep. My shit was a late 90s, early 2000s Eldorado, and I got that motherfucker.
Yeah,
and I feel like, your old school, what you like as an old school tells me so much about who you are. If you tell me you a box Chevy old school, I'm like, okay, this motherfucker thinks 2007 Gucci is the greatest motherfucker who ever walked to work. Right? Like, I know so much about you just off your what is your dream old school? You know what I'm saying? If you're an 87 Monte Carlo dude, I know exactly the type of dude you are. You know what I mean? Like, and I think, like I said, I think that Kendrick having, probably his dream old school on the cover, I think that's him digging into the culture a little bit more, because like I said, that speaks to motherfuckers who know, bro. Like, if you have a dream old school car, we know exactly the type of person you are, really based on that car, bro.
I do want that 99 Range Rover though, the one that Nas had in Belly with the motherfucking ribbon on that bitch. It's all old school shit that I want, bro. If I really got the bread, nigga, it's gonna be nothing but old shit.
Tyler, as a classic car possessor, what do you think the GNX? What do you think a Grand National says about Kendrick? That's his. It's funny that you guys are bringing up everything I wrote down to like make sure we talk about also. But give me your armchair analysis of what that says.
I feel like if you're tapped in with a motherfucking Buick GNX, you're someone who was really under the wings of like your OGs, of like your uncles and shit. Like I don't think you found out about that car on your lonesome as an 11-year-old, right? Like you had an older mentor figure in your life, whatever capacity, family, friends, or whatever, who put you onto that shit. And I think Kendrick has talked about that shit all the time in his music, about like how he was raised by his uncles and shit. So I think that's probably where his love for that came from.
Have you guys been enjoying the memification of the mustard soundbite?
I love seeing Mustard.
I love
enjoying.
I love like he walked away. It's probably like the 11,000th time he'd heard it that day. He was all right. You know what I mean? Like, okay. But he's enjoyed it for sure. I'm glad he's having a moment. So I like Mustard.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that feels like for sure a cool thing Kendrick did as a friend, because I feel like we've all had that friend who we just give them an annoying ass greeting whenever we see him. Right? So yeah, man, I feel like that was some real bro shit right there for Kendrick to do.
I squeeze Adrian's butt cheeks. He already knows what time it is. I'm the annoying friend, dog.
You're an annoying friend in the best way. I can confirm that. But making yelling Mustard go viral would be some shit that you would intentionally do. 100%.
Yeah, man. For sure.
I like the my favorite one was that someone did a painting. It was probably AI or whatever, but in my head it's a real painting of a thing of Mustard yelling Kendrick. That was my favorite. that was my favorite one I saw so far. We had spinning out of the Kendrick drop. We had another fierce battle. This is probably one of the saddest things I've seen on Twitter, but let me bring it up just to make sure that
talking about Kendrick versus Wayne, because
no, I'm talking about
that would be a massacre.
I'm talking about a similar dynamic, but with our own Dragonfly Jonez.
Oh God,
that shit,
bro.
I said that to Adrian, like. Yeah. We can discuss it, but I don't want to mention homie by name.
Okay, all right. No, all right, fuck it. Anyway, someone says something dumb to Tyler, and Tyler made him look stupid.
Grown ass man.
You see they reposted the picture of him? It's like the call is coming from the house with that motherfucking purple Astros on, bitch. Where the fuck you see that motherfucker? I ain't never seen that in Lids. They don't sell that motherfucker on the site, nigga.
That motherfucker was purple with lilac undertones. You got the motherfucking nerve, nigga.
You got that motherfucker from an Exxon, nigga. Shut the fuck up.
But yeah, I mean, the sad part of that is, bro, I didn't say shit to that man. I was talking about how I was gonna enjoy the Kendrick album.
He mad because you happy, nigga. That's weird.
Grown ass, and he only did that because Drake is his daddy, his favorite rapper, and he got embarrassed. And I'm going to enjoy the dude who embarrassed him. Grown ass 46-year-old man hopping out here, getting into internet fights over a rapper who doesn't know he exists, who he's 10 years older than. How is that motherfucker 10 years older than you and he your big bro? You doing dummy missions for him. Fuck that nigga, dog.
Crashing out, nigga. You so crashed out today, nigga, because your ass cooked him. I said that shit to Adrian, like, look at this nigga. Let's just get into the analytics of it. Look at the numbers in comparison. He jumped up to get his ass whooped, nigga. Should have shut your motherfucking mouth up, nigga. God damn.
Yeah, fuck that nigga, dog.
Yeah, but like I said, if you don't like that album, you might be a weird ass nigga I don't fuck with. And that you know, stamps that.
Listen,
you hear me?
I have never in my life seen anyone who was anti-Kendrick. I mean, I'm sure there's people who's like, yo, Kendrick just ain't my cup of tea. That's fine. Everything is for everybody. I've never seen anyone who was put Kendrick down. Y'all really like this? This music shit is trash. I've never seen anyone who was anti-Kendrick to the point where they attack and criticize Kendrick's music where there wasn't an ulterior motive behind it, where they weren't a Drake stan or a Cole stan. Because if you approach Kendrick from an unbiased perspective, the motherfucker is undeniable, bro.
At minimum, you respect it.
Even if it ain't for you,
understand
you see the talent and the lyricism and everything. Right?
Yes, at minimum, you understand the greatness, even if that's not your favorite rapper. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
This is gonna seem like a weird analogy, but stay with me for a second. It's very similar to me to The Simpsons in that he's offering something up for people who only want a good hook and like one catchy line that they can repeat in like captions or whatever, and he's also doing something artistic on a higher level. And so I think that's where it's like, he's intentionally or not, he's hitting every level of music fan in a way that very few things do, right? Like you could go back to Shakespeare. That's why Shakespeare survived, is dick jokes and the modern structure of storytelling. You know what I mean? Like it's operating on both levels. I feel like from Good Kid, Mad City forward, Kendrick has always done that. You know, if all
Section
you like
82,
is
bro.
trees, for sure. But I mean, in terms of like breaking contain of people who listen to pop music, not even just rap fans. You know what I mean?
I feel like Hold Up on Section 80 is still a top 5 Kendrick song for me.
It's so good.
It might be top 3. You know, like I still remember the first time I heard him perform that bitch live. And we were at the
Fader Ford.
At the Fader Ford, nigga, bitch, crazy. Literally lost my fucking mind for 3 minutes, however long it was played. Anyway.
Yeah, but to Tyler's point there, I mean, there's like meaningful critiques of Kendrick. Like I still laugh as a huge Kendrick fan. I laugh my ass off at the Kendrick is gonna kill him with alien voice, baby voice, and like that was fucking funny as fuck. And like, yes, absolutely.
I love all the
he be talking about some real shit using the voice. Like when he talked about how many homies he lost. I actually thought that's an interesting voice to use talking about losing homies. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like but it's, I don't know, G. Like, I still Kendrick, bro. He lands the plane every time. You hear me?
Yeah. Anything you guys have anything else on the album, or does the chat have anything else before we talk a little bit of sports ball?
The chat is just big fans. Their favorite songs, I feel like, are The Heart Part 6 and GNX.
Oh shit, we ain't even talk about The Heart Part 6. Y'all want to touch on that?
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
I thought it was beautiful. We all know that there was an amicable split between TDE and Kendrick, you know, and we for sure found that out last summer when we saw how hard TDE was going.
It felt like it was not quite amicable the entire time. Yeah. But they figured it out. Yeah, go ahead.
It felt like the main reason Kendrick got out of it was because they were sitting on his work too long. That's what it felt like. But during the battle, we saw Punch, we saw fucking Ab and Schoolboy going hard for him on Twitter, right? And we saw that the love was still there. And I thought that it was that The Heart Part 6, I thought that was a really beautiful, kind of very beautiful self-aware letter to his old TDE label mates. Where I'm glad he didn't fucking let Drake even think he did something by calling his shit Heart Part 6. He's like, no, nigga, this the real Heart Part 6. And and I feel like he's rubbing it in fucking Drake's face again. Like, I'm gonna talk to my real friends here. Something you might not know anything about, right?
And them big ass shoes you be wearing, goofy ass nigga. Go ahead though.
Yeah, and I really loved how he walked us through how amicable the split was. My favorite thing was him giving Ab-Soul his flowers. Because
love that.
Yeah, because I think my favorite moment at the pop out was when he brought Ab on there for for 616 in LA. And all he did was put his hand on Ab's shoulder and rapped. It's like, nigga, do you hear me? I hope I made you proud with this shit. You know what I mean? Because he said himself, Ab is one of the dudes I always try to impress in my pen. Because, bro, we were there, and this was a legitimate discussion where it was like
Control
Kendrick,
system.
we were like, Kendrick might be the best artist on TDE, but I don't know if he can out rap Ab. And that was a
Control
legit
System
discussion.
was a fucking
Incredible.
monster album.
Incredible.
And he rapped his nigga, bro. Like me and Adrian was talking about that particular part with Ab. When we drove to New Orleans, right? The same, I think on the way back, Dom Kennedy dropped the Yellow album. You know what I mean? And so, but on the way down, I listened to Ab for 11 hours. Nigga, I read Control System, Pineal Gland, nigga. That shit got fucking
Terrorist
2 hours of play, nigga.
Brown, nigga. Come on,
nigga,
man.
nigga. What, nigga? I'm talking about, bro. Like he went crazy. You know what I mean? So I love that. People don't. I mean, his other projects haven't lived up to that. You know, I don't want to take nothing away from him, but you know what I mean. That was it's hard to live up to something that is perfect. That was a perfect fucking album, bro. You know what I mean? So yes, it was a legitimate argument, and it was, you know, it was real, bro. We heard the raps, nigga. That motherfucker was rapping his ass off, and also like we would hear like the battles of him battling like the best battle rappers. You know what I'm saying? Like and smoke and like going head to head with these niggas. Like it was crazy, bro. Like he was special, so it makes sense. But I just like the fact that them niggas went separate ways, and it's still love from top to bottom. You know what I mean? Like. We had our little shit, like, but yo, you still my nigga. We might be on different teams, but you had to go do your own thing. That's cool. But when it come down to it, nigga, I got your back, you got mine. It's still all love. You feel me? I love that. Sometimes shit be going that type way, nigga. That happened. But it's the fact that it's still love there that's some real nigga shit. That's beautiful, bro. I love that. And he gave them all the respect. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Spoke so highly to them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And I think Schoolboy had the first smash on TDE too, right? Then he was the last person. He was the last person to get into rapping, but he had the first joint with him and was it Hands on the Wheel? First chart topping joint. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But ASAP, yeah. So like he was showing love. Like I love that, bro. You know what I mean? So beautiful.
All right. The Washington Commanders.
Oh shit.
Recently welcomed our own Dragonfly Jonez back into fandom, and it appears that they got complacent with Tyler's fandom because today they lost in one of the most spectacular ways I've seen a football team lose, which is that they had what seemed to be a miraculous comeback to force overtime, 86-yard touchdown, just a few seconds left. They then missed the extra point, then tried the onside, which was then returned for a touchdown, to lose in an ugly and heartbreaking fashion.
That spin move was nasty, though.
To the Dallas Cowboys, which I will say at least this did knock the Cowboys from I think the third draft pick out to out of the top 10 because they won this game. So there is a little bit of immediate revenge. But Tyler, are the Commanders being too complacent? Are they taking you for granted after this recent return to fandom?
Bro, that loss was that's the exact type of shit I was trying to avoid. That is the exact reason I left this motherfucker. You lose the you miss the motherfucking extra point, and then you get a motherfucking onside kick ran back on you. I've never seen no shit like that ever in my life in a football game. I've never seen an onside kick return for a touchdown, and it's wild because right, like I said, okay, if y'all beat Carolina, I'm back on board. Since they beat Carolina, they are motherfucking 2-3.
Since you got on the internet and said that you're a fan again.
Yes, they are. Yep, they are 2-3. Since I hop back on after being, let me see, after being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After being 5-2, they're now 2-3. And bro, and they have and after averaging like 35 a game, they haven't hit 28 since I hopped on board. It's just been, bro, like everyone's saying, yeah, you should expect the second half, Cliff Kingsbury fall off, which looks like a yearly tradition now. I mean, I'm not going to push back on that until he, ramps this shit up again. But, bro, it's like, dog, this is the exact type of shit I wanted to avoid. As soon as I came back, as soon as I got back on that narcotic, they giving me some bullshit. They trying to kill me.
Remember that nigga from Kansas City that left the game? And they came back from like...
yeah, but then won a motherfucking World Series. A World Series. Super Bowl that season. But yeah, bro, it's just I mean, it feels like I'm not even upset because this is just how Washington football does me. It's what I'm used to. But like I said, at the same time, I didn't sign up for this. But but also at the same time, it's all I know. So I'm not that fucking distraught.
There was
you
three
know?
at the same time. I ain't necessarily
It's three
but at the
simultaneously with that motherfucker. But yeah, man, I just I don't know. I don't fucking know. I can never get a good read on this team. Ever,
let me give you the silver lining. It's a rookie quarterback that also clearly was playing through an injury for a couple of the weeks of that 2-3 stretch you talked about. I hear what people are saying with the Cliff Kingsbury shit, but if you look at week 0, what could Jaden Daniels show you this season? You've already surpassed a best case scenario for we got one, which as we know in the NFL, that's everything you need. You know what I mean? So I would still for example, I would rather be in your shoes right now almost than in the Niners shoes. You know what I mean? Yeah, but because y'all got one, that's right. That's what so much of the game is about. But I hear you, bro. It definitely feels a little bit like Lucy in the football.
Yeah, dog. Just when I thought shit was different, man. How you feeling as I mean, of folks our age, who especially for you who was a Niners fan, the Packers are rivals to you. You know what I mean?
Packers to me are the team that the Packers and the Cowboys are the teams that I hate the most and like beating the most.
Yes. Yeah. And if you're a '90s kid, it was real deal wars with them for Super Bowl bids, right? So
Terrell Owens will be one of my favorite players ever for the Steve Young. I think it was a '98 wild card Steve Young to Terrell Owens where he just stood up after catching the game-winning touchdown and was already sobbing. That was just fuck the Packers, bro.
How does it feel taking? And this was such a goofy loss y'all took. Jordan Love had 98 yards passing or some shit.
Yeah, but it was the most lopsided game in the history of the Niners.
The biggest margin of victory. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I knew, and here's the worst thing, Tyler, too, and I know you'll identify with this. I was coaching on Sundays for the first good chunk of the football season that I work on the weekends for the most part. This is the first game I've been able to sit down and watch with Vinny from start to finish. And I just knew all week, bro, 'cause everyone's hurt. The quarterback's hurt. The backup quarterback's a dude no one's ever heard of. The receivers are all hurt. Debo doesn't look good. Christian McCaffrey had double Achilles tendonitis. I never even heard of that shit. We had linemen missing. Gosh. We had at one point when Diamador Lenore went out of the game today, we had one defensive starter who started for us in the playoffs last year, which was Fred Warner. Everybody else that was back was out with injury. So I knew coming in we were going to take it on the chin, but it's the NFL. So it's that the Panthers could put a scare in the Chiefs. Anyone could put a scare in the Lions. That's just how the league goes. And so I was hoping it would be one of those games, and it did not feel good to answer your question. It felt horrible. Yeah. And all my friends who are Packers fans, texting me, "Go Pack, go!" Blah blah blah. It was not fun. I did not enjoy myself.
Yeah.
No silver lining from mine.
Yeah. Where you at with the Niners, man? I mean, I think they're for sure out of the run this season, but I think the biggest story is what is that championship window looking like?
Yeah, and the difficult thing is this is going to be the offseason where if you're Brock Purdy and his agent, you're going to the Niners he's not about to play out the last year of his rookie deal. You got to do this shit right now. But the truth is, and I'm a Brock fan. But the truth is, one of the things that has been the most valuable about him is just his value, what we've been paying him. We've been paying him $40 a year, bro. He's making Jenkins and Jonez money to be an NFL quarterback.
Paying that man in Jimmy John subs and shit.
I think he was making $250 or something. I mean, to be, a dude who has credibly been one of the best statistical quarterbacks. So because he's so cheap, because the NFL has a hard cap, that allows you to have Debo and Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey and Trent Williams and Bosa. It allows you to have all these other dudes. And I think, I like Brock, but he's shown that when all those guys are injured, he's not winning you games by himself. So it's a real tricky situation to me. I do think they have to pay him. But yeah, man, I think that the NFL is not like the NBA or Major League Baseball where the way to win is to just get to the Super Bowl 3. You don't just get into the playoffs and get to the Super Bowl over and over again. Tom Brady talked about on the broadcast today. The Niners have been to the Super Bowl, twice in the last few years. They've played an extra 16 games over the last 5 years in the playoffs. I mean, so like that in football more than any other sport, that adds up. And that's why the whole team has been fucking injured this year. You know what I mean? So it does feel a little bit to me like this era is sort of shut down. Would just be like Tom Brady had all those teams that would have been Super Bowl champions if he had never been born. Like, we're just going to be one of those teams for Pat Mahomes, bro. Like, if it wasn't for Pat Mahomes, we got a couple of trophies, a couple of rings. Like, I'm honest. I'm upfront about that. We were in their documentary. They were not in our documentary. Like, so it sucks because there's a lot of players on the team I really, really like. But yeah, it does feel like it's kind of shutting. And again, the last 2 years, they had the most wins of any team in the NFL. They had the most points per game. They had the highest point differential of any team in the NFL. And the way the NFL is, you got to cash that in. You can't just, it's not the NBA where you're going to hang out and then maybe a superstar on the other team gets injured and that's your year to win the finals. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it sucks. I'm very sad about it, but I had to kind of come to grips with it throughout the course of getting our brains bashed in today for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you said, when you have the hot hand in the NFL, you got to cash out, bro, because injuries happen and those motherfuckers hunker down in those film rooms and they figure shit out, bro.
And
like the game moves quickly.
Shanahan this year. Like, if you watch a Niners game the last 2 years, they would do some shit with 3 guys pulling to the left and then like 2 tight ends blocking to the right. And all of a sudden, Deebo Samuels is holding the football and there's fucking 50 yards of green space and 2 blockers in front of him with no defenders. That has not happened like one time this year where you're just like, oh, goody, something cool is happening. Like we just, it's just everyone's like playing us outside in a way that they have not been able to do with that offense previously. And that's where it's like, you have to really think about how big of a page turn is this going to be? But yeah, man, like you said it, when the time is right and you have a cheap quarterback, you have to take advantage of that shit, which is why to me, this year's already a win for you as a Commanders fan, right? You got the quarterback, but now the pressure comes on of like, how much longer you have him on that rookie deal where you can go put a good defense on the other side or good pieces around him. Because once you have to pay him, look at the Dallas Cowboys. Look what the Giants did to themselves.
Like, look at the Bengals who made it to the Super Bowl when Joe Burrow's on his rookie deal, and now they're 4 and whatever. Like, he's dying on the field.
You have to give 40% of your fucking salary cap to one guy in a sport with 55 people. Like the math is just very difficult of how many top guys you can go get. And that is what has been a winning formula for the NFL, but they're really doubling down on the parity shit. I feel like every team is 1 or 2 games plus or minus a 500 right now. You know what I mean? Like, obviously the Chiefs and the Lions have good records, but like, yeah, the whole NFC West is fucking 500. Anyway, all right. I got one other sports thing, which is, by the way, the Niners were my Dookie Butt of the Week, but I have a backup Dookie Butt of the Week. So I'll slot him out. But I wanted to note that I do think that the San Francisco 49ers are Dookie Butted right now. Shohei Ohtani won his 3rd MVP this week. And the stat that I gave to you guys that I think similar to this Kendrick album, it warrants a conversation. No athlete has ever gotten more than one unanimous MVP in the history of the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, and the NHL. There are people who have one unanimous MVP. No one's gotten more than one, except for Shohei Ohtani, who just won his 3rd unanimous MVP.
That's wild.
Like, he's only 30, but it doesn't feel like it's that long before we're going to start talking about a GOAT of GOATs type situation. And I don't really know how he's going to pitch next year.
When you told me, because I wasn't really tapped on how good of a pitcher he was. And you were like, he's like the best in the league. I'm like,
the only thing he does, the only baseball award he hasn't won is a Cy Young. And like, they literally, when he won the MVP, he fist bumped his wife to celebrate. First of all, they're sitting on the couch. They fist bump, like, cool. Got another one. No one's ever done it in our lifetime except for me. I've done it 3 times. Cool. Yeah. And the broadcaster is asking him through the translator, but he could recognize the words, so you could see him reacting to it. He was like, the only player to ever win MVP and a Cy Young is your teammate Clayton Kershaw. What do you think of that? And this was his face. Like, yeah, I might go for that shit next year. Like,
Yeah, that's crazy. And for this to happen in baseball, that I think that means a lot because you kind of have to fucking adjust the scales to the fuddy-duddy old time fucking voters there. Like there's never been a unanimous vote to the Baseball Hall of Fame ever. You know what I
right.
mean? And for this dude to win 3 unanimous MVPs, that
They
says a
don't
lot.
hand out shit, right? Like they don't hand out shit like that. And they're certainly not like bending over backwards to it's not like the NBA where you can make an argument that some of the writers like are like sort of
Yeah,
prefer
because we should have had
certain
about
players.
11 fucking unanimous NBA MVPs. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
But this is not a like, oh, there's an Eastern European bias of the media. Like these dudes like white American baseball players. You know
But
what I
he's
mean?
just so
Or they're
undeniable.
and there's just what else can you say about him? Like
Yeah.
he decided in spring training, maybe I'll work on stealing bases this year, and then has the first, no one had ever gone over 45. He goes 50, like, you know, he just decides I'll just be the best in the world at this year and then completely give it up next year. Like when he's pitching, he won't be stealing shit. Still
Like you don't vote for
50-something.
him, you lose credibility. Like, should you have this job? Like that's
Right.
how undeniable he's making it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
All right. Dookie Butt of the Week time. Jackson, who's your Dookie Butt of the Week?
My Dookie Butt of the Week. I have
Oh, chat.
Let me pull it up.
Get
Oh yeah,
your
chat. Who's your Dookie Butt of the Week?
Yeah.
I have like a quick dystopian one and then a funny one. The dystopian one is that venture capital firm or whatever, Blackstone. I didn't know that there's two, Blackstone and BlackRock, that there's two that are the same thing. I didn't know this. Blackstone bought Jersey Mike's. Disaster.
Yes.
Absolute nightmare for all of us Jersey Mike heads. So they're my Dookie Butt of the Week for that.
And I must protect New Jersey
Why
Michael's
you
Submarine
saying
sandwiches
this?
because it's a private equity firm.
Yeah.
And what private equity exists to do is to squeeze
Suck-
the blood
suck
out of
everything
things.
dry.
Gut
suck
it
everything
basically
dry,
and like
yeah,
get
yeah.
as much. They don't care about the
So
product.
like I worked for like our daily newspaper in Long Beach, which were like a media desert. That was our only, like all of the TV and radio shit is for LA. We don't have anything that's specific to our city of 500,000 except our daily newspaper. It got bought by a private equity firm that did the following things. Sold the real estate. It was like an 8-story building downtown. So they, sold that, shoved them in with some other people. And then a private equity, like a hedge fund, they want 50% growth eternally. They don't want a flat profit, whatever. They want 15% growth. So literally what they would do would just every year, they would lay off 15% of the staff. Until we now have a daily newspaper that at one point had 200 something full-time employees, has, I think, 4 full-time writers.
You shouldn't be able to do business like that. Like that should be illegal.
Thank you,
Like, you
Ronald Reagan
shouldn't-
and
Yeah.
unregulated markets.
Bingo, brother.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's just my quick aside. I hate it. It's horrible. The funny Dookie Butt of the Week I have is in college football yesterday. Rutgers head coach Greg Schiano. Rutgers was playing Illinois. They're up by 1 with 9 seconds left. Illinois was lining up for a 53-yard field goal to try and win the game. Greg Schiano calls a timeout to try to ice the kicker. It's one of those icing situations where he gets the practice kick off. It wasn't before he gets the practice kick off. He gets the practice kick off, misses the practice kick. So they then decide, we don't think he can do it. We don't think he's got it. So they go for it on 4th and 13, and they score a game-winning touchdown. Greg Schiano iced the kicker that would have, if he didn't get the timeout off, they would have won the game, and they lose the game by letting up a touchdown on 4th and 13 with 9 seconds left.
God bless.
Absolutely incredible stuff from former NFL head coach Greg Schiano.
But I mean, like,
From the man that brought you diving at the opponent's knees during a kneel down.
Yes.
so you deserve, yeah. It's not the worst decision, but it ended up being the worst decision.
It's just
You know what I'm
hilarious.
saying?
It's just so funny.
Yes, I agree.
fucking
John, who's your
Rutgers
Dookie Butt of the
football,
Week?
man.
Rutgers football, baby.
It was.
They like the
gonna be
second
good.
oldest football team in the country, I think, too. Like beyond Princeton, and just ain't never been shit, bro. That's wild.
It was gonna be the dude that came at Tyler, but
Yeah,
That's what the
yeah.
chat
Yeah.
is as well. Someone said that
Yeah.
earlier.
He's been
Yes.
wiped and flushed at this point.
yeah, it's over with. It's over with. Also, like we ain't gotta talk about yeah. So,
Yeah.
but have you heard of low lives? The low lives?
Low
Like,
life
heard
is like
of
a concept.
No, like
Is it
it was in the 80s. There was some
An '80s
dudes
gang that wore polo
Hey,
and shit.
that
Yeah.
wore polo. Yeah. And so, but they would like run up in people's shit. Like, I'm talking about 30 deep in sacks. You feel me?
Oh, they were
snatching
the
everything.
They were the
I'm talking about
flash mob
grocery
robbery.
bag, like not
Okay.
grocery, like trash bags of fucking polo. You know what I'm saying? Walking around like you see them club picture shit, and I'm just like, nigga, Ralph Lauren blew it. Could you imagine the moment? Like embrace that. Them niggas made polo popping in the hood, nigga. They're the reason we was wearing polo in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like fuck everything. We wearing polo. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no reason for my country ass to be wearing polo other than them niggas making it cracking. You feel me? Like I needed polo though because them niggas made it cracking in the 80s. You feel me? Bro, if you got them all together and did like like how Tommy, which is weird, people were saying that he don't want niggas to wear shit because he always embraced niggas. He was like, yo, you see him with all the rappers like here.
Yeah, that ad campaign with Aaliyah was legendary, dog.
Bro, for sure. Like he's like, yo, I see where the money at. You make it cracking to them, it's cracking to everybody. You know what I'm saying? That was his whole marketing ploy. You know, he went to hip hop. Ralph Lauren never did that shit. But if he would have embraced the shit and had all them low heads on it, like that would be I'd have the poster in my fucking room right now. You know what I'm saying? He missed the moment. You could have made a moment in history with that shit. So, yeah, bro. I've been watching like little mini docs on them. I had heard, but I wasn't truly hip. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Is that what you were watching while you were washing the dishes?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure. Yep. It was like my third one.
Nothing says father of two still in diapers like this is my quiet time.
My quiet
I'm
time.
gonna wash the
Rather
dishes.
be wonder why like
Rather
has not done dishes. She done like 5 times. You feel me? And she like, why? I don't get it, nigga.
So
it's just
warm.
me and these fucking dishes.
It's warm. I can finish it and then it's done.
Right.
And
it's
text me
about it.
Parents sound so awesome.
No one
it's like
texts
the
me about
stamp on the end of the day. Listen, I'm gonna tell you.
Listen, I have a very large and fulfilling life, but I tell you, there's very few satisfactions like finishing the dishes when your wife is putting the children down and then everything's just done, bro. I don't know. Like it was like the same feeling I get from finishing a book, Jackson. Book I'm writing.
I love all of you and I love all of your children, and so this is not serious, but it sounds like you guys have Stockholm syndrome.
I mean, we definitely do. I think
that's true of
a
all
level of it for sure. Yeah,
everyone in a relationship has some level of Stockholm syndrome. Everyone with children has some level of. That's true, brother. That's true. everyone who lives in and participates in civilization. Like
he wants to make his own situation.
If it wasn't for a city, you could just hang out by a stream. You know what I mean? But you can't do that. We've opted into a shared society against our will.
Yeah, making that business decision of I'm not gonna push back and argue with you about this. I'm rolling with whatever you want to do. That is Stockholm syndrome at work, dog.
100%.
Like we do that all the fucking time,
and not even in a like, oh, it's
I'm not good at that yet, bro. I'm not good at that yet, nigga. I'm
40 years in.
I have a real issue with facts, and it's like, I'm like, but that didn't happen. You know what I mean? But the thing is, it's not like it doesn't matter if it factually happened or not.
My second Dookie butt of the week issue, which is the John feeling. After Rhonda listens to the podcast.
No. She gonna be like, finally he said it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Because I do have it, and I know it's an issue, and I'll be in the moment like,
you're doing it again.
Yes, yeah, you're doing it, John.
Yeah.
You're doing it. But I'm like.
Hey, like bro, like the whole adage, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Some shit, your happiness counts more than being right.
So I mean, like we figured it out even with my crazy shit, even with my like like this particularly but we figured it out. But it's regardless, like the more I lean into who gives a fuck about if it's factual or not. Let's address the other shit. What really matters, which was emotions. The better I will be. You know what I mean? But I'm glad y'all figured it out. Y'all been in the game longer than me, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was out here doing backflips. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah,
Tyler and I have streamlined our evenings.
Yeah. Well, y'all jumped into it crazy.
It's called natural selection, brother.
Yeah, bro. And the whole thing, I'm not suffering silently or anything. I very much vocalize. Yep, I'm letting you have this one. All right.
Right.
Bet, like we're just not doing this today, bro.
Yeah.
We gonna have a good one today. You feel?
Yeah, we are gonna have a good day today. Whatever,
I be choosing
man.
violence sometimes, man. I gotta do better, dog. Cause I be like, John, this doesn't matter. It's a very small thing, and then it runs out of my mouth. Like, bitch, I told you it didn't matter. I told you it didn't matter.
The longer you're married, the easier it is for both parties to look at each other and go, or there's a new episode of Shrinking on tonight.
What? Right.
We have a finite number of days on this earth.
Right.
We can choose right now how we're gonna feel at the end of this one. So to your point, Jackson, if you describe that to anyone that's single, they say the same shit. You know what I mean? All right. Tyler, you're Dookie Butt of the Week.
Good save.
I saw Gladiator 2 this weekend, and I loved it. I fucking loved it.
Oh my god!
Okay, somebody said it was
God, I was
bad.
worried you were
Go
gonna say the
ahead.
opposite. Holy crap!
No. I saw Gladiator 2 and I loved it, and I feel like it's mixed reviews online for it, and a lot of, and I've seen some gripes about how Denzel wasn't really channeling ancient Rome, like he was more so coming across as, you know, the old head from New York that he is. And you know what? Here's the thing. They were right. And it was fucking awesome. How do you see? How are you upset that Denzel is being Denzel in 300 fucking AD Rome? Like, that sounds awesome to me, and it was awesome to me. And also, my other thing is this: who the fuck made the rules that whenever we make a movie about the ancient world, about ancient civilizations, everyone has to talk with a British accent? Those motherfuckers have been in England. You know, that
Colonization
is
made the rule, nigga. You feel me?
Bro, right. Like Denzel's character, he was from North Africa in Italy, and they wanted this motherfucker to have a British accent. Why? What is the mathing on that one, motherfucker?
He's changing it up. I'm gonna be a nigga.
Bro, he was so 60-year-old black dude from New York City in that motherfucker, man.
But also the thing is, bro, like, dog, we didn't even need Gladiator 2. The one thing that is cool about it is the fact that Denzel's in it to me. I didn't need a Gladiator 2. I can go watch Gladiator 1 and be fine with it. It's
amazing.
It's an incredible movie forever. You know what I mean?
The
fact that you have Gladiator 2 is the only. I think you have Denzel is the only reason I think Gladiator 2 should have been made. So I don't give a fuck if he was talking like he was like fucking Shakespeare, or if he was motherfucking the nigga from Training Day. You know what I'm saying?
I was just gonna say, if the poster said starring Denzel Washington's exact character from Training Day, that would make me more likely to see the movie.
I would have brought Saw Me and Shola in that bitch, nigga. I would have had
holiday today. It's a holiday today.
Shoulder on my chest, Shola sit on my shoulders like I was for lunch, nigga. And we in that bitch, nigga. What do you mean? It's Denzel, nigga. What do you mean? I was talking to Agent about how good that motherfucking movie was, nigga. He was quoting the fuck out of that shit, dog. Honestly, I need to watch fucking Training Day again.
Tyler, you make a great point about that British accent. That's the layers of racism that are like so deeply embedded that like that had never really.
People don't even ask that type of shit, nigga. Yeah.
But it's like whenever people do, oh, it's not accurate. Are they speaking Latin?
Exactly, bro.
That's what
they translated the whole fucking movie into English for you before it was on the fucking screen. Like, of course, it's not accurate. No one wants to see an accurate documentary about what people do want to see that, but they exist.
He wasn't talking like the colonizer said he should talk.
Yeah,
I British accent. What was happening in Britain during Gladiator 2, bro? It was a bunch of hairy little people fucking their cousins and shit, bro. There wasn't no like. You have a British accent as a Moor from North Africa. What the fuck are you talking about?
That was an island full of hobbits in 200 AD, dog. Like seriously, England owes so much to how much they got conquered throughout their history. Like, all jokes aside, bro. You know, I've always said that's why the English language is so fucked up. Is because it's influences from everyone who came and conquered their asses. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have fucking Latin, we have Germanic, we have all that shit in English, all because motherfuckers came to England and set up shop because they wasn't on shit. like if you want a little vacation getaway and you want to conquer some shit, go to England, dog. You know what I'm saying? Nice little easy work there, light work.
This is what the English language is. There was a circus called The Greatest Show on Earth. Then there was a football team that played on AstroTurf and had a good offense, so we called it The Greatest Show on Turf. Now there's a good offense that plays on grass, and I heard it referred to on NBC tonight as the greatest show on grass. That doesn't make any sense.
Where's the rhymes?
The greatest show on
What is it, the
grass?
Braves?
What is
it,
that
the
in
Blades?
reference to? It's just shit layered on top of other shit until it doesn't even make any sense anymore. That's what the whole language is, bro. The greatest show on grass?
Yeah, that's nah. They need to go back to the drawing board with that motherfucker.
My Dookie Butt of the week, my replacement Dookie Butt of the week is, did y'all see this graphic that the Sixers put together where they typed the final score, but they used a font such that when you typed out the word final, it just says anal in all caps?
No.
Yes. Okay. Hold on.
They did it
Can
on
you show it, Mike?
purpose.
No. I mean, it almost has to be. You know what I mean? Just from how obvious it is, but it's not like it's not subtle. It's actually like if you zoom in on it, it looks more like it says the word.
So it's like the spacing between the F and the I is very slight. Is that what you're saying? Oh dear.
It's non-existent.
Oh wow.
Wow.
They might. Was it Kearney? Is that Kearney?
And they got beat
I forget if it's Kerning or
125-99 too. Like
Kearney. Yeah, I think that's Kearney. Letting is this, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Kearney is this.
Yes,
Yeah.
kerning is the space between the letters. Yeah,
Yeah.
newspaper skill right there.
Graphic design is my passion.
Graphic design is my
Art
passion.
direction.
Oh, this column,
Hard
the
skills.
article doesn't quite fit. Just fuck with the kerning, dog. Bump that shit up to a plus 18. You know, it's gonna look like a word search, but it'll fit.
When I found out that shit existed, what?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Chat. Who's the chat Dookie Butt of the week?
The chat has been kind of there's not been consensus in the chat today. There's been a lot of different things thrown out
Civil
there.
war in the chat.
This-
Civil war in the chat.
I wouldn't go that far. The 76ers for just being bad.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Aside and the graphic aside for just like being a terrible basketball team. There was the SEC for all their teams looking like Dookie this weekend.
Yeah.
Did Bama lose?
They did who?
Bama lose?
I think so.
yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
yeah.
They lose
Only
to Auburn?
scored 3 points.
Yeah, they barely.
They
put up a
lost to
fight.
Auburn?
No. Who they lose to? They didn't lose to Auburn.
finna
Auburn,
say,
Auburn
they-
beat Texas A&M. I'm
They
sorry. Who
lost
did Alabama lose to?
to? I want to say it was like Arkansas or something.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
24-3.
someone in the
6-5
chat said
Oklahoma.
we are the Dookie Butt for not posting on Blue Sky, which we're not there yet, guys. I apologize, but
I'm
we're
gonna
not
be
there
honest.
yet.
Can I say what I feel
Go
about
ahead.
this guy?
Get it
Go
off your
ahead.
chest.
Nothing wrong with blue skyers. Can continue skeeting, doing all that stuff.
Keep skeeting.
Keep skeeting.
guys.
Keep skeeting in the free world.
Pro skeeter. Do your thing. You know what I mean? It's a little dry over there, though, guys. This little guy. It's a little suburban. It's little suburbs kids over there.
Say it.
As a suburbs kid, you know.
That is superb over that
A little
motherfucker.
more nastiness than that. Maybe I'm fucked up. Maybe I'm fucked up. Maybe I'm sick. Maybe I'm toxic. Y'all too friendly. I need to see a little like Tyler got flamed and he threw something back. I'm a lunch table nigga. I'm at the lunch table before school firing each other up, nigga. You feel me? That's in my motherfucking soul. My mama did that. Her mama did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, I need the lunch table vibes. Ain't enough clowning over there yet, man.
John said he logged on to Blue Sky and it was just a bunch of people skeeting. I'm a suburban kid.
I didn't.
He said the skeets
After
are
the
too
suburbs
positive.
kid shit, Mike said, but I did say it felt suburban over there, and then he said suburbs kid. But
I'm
no,
a suburbs kid.
but dog,
I'm a
lunch
suburbs
ta-
kid.
Like what I liked about what was cool about Twitter was it felt like the lunchroom. So there was, and earlier it was cool and whatever. It wasn't as crazy as it is now and nasty, but niggas was flaming each other. Nigga could get fired up. You feel me? It ain't there yet at Blue Sky. You feel me? You know, I gotta laugh not just with y'all. I gotta laugh at somebody sometimes. Even
There's
if
no main characters over there yet.
there's nobody's getting laughed. There's never a nigga getting laughed at. You know what I mean? I need to say.
I would
Oh,
tell
come
you
on.
the day that
Everybody
the-
agrees over there. Everybody agrees. You know what I mean? That feels weird, don't it, Jackson?
That's some
everybody
Twilight Zone shit.
agrees. I'm like, you.
I would tell you the
Yeah.
day that Blue Sky lost me was the day on Twitter when women started tweeting pictures of the ugly fathers of their children, and it turned into people roasting the women for letting those men get them pregnant.
The ugly deadbeat fathers. That's an important wrinkle there.
Ugly
Yeah.
deadbeat dads. That was when I just was on Twitter quite a bit that day going, this will never happen anywhere else.
I'm also too like, why would you? I was wondering when I saw that shit, why are you throwing them lobs to get your ass? Some of them niggas look like a scoop of ice cream, nigga.
Because people fall
Not
for
me.
it.
You know what I mean? I'm like,
fall
nigga,
for it. They
nigga,
fall for
bro.
everyone's gonna see things the way that I see it.
This nigga
People
look like a
fall for
waffle
it.
cone, and you sharing this?
And you let him shaboy you? Like,
And you nigga, you let him go in,
like,
inside of your body,
You let him,
bro.
inside of you. He look like a germ, nigga.
It's bro,
He
dog.
look
It's
contagious, and you let him crack. That's wild. You know what I'm saying? Jesus Christ.
it's like some wise sage on Twitter said before, bro. Women are suicide pilots. They will embarrass themselves if they get to embarrass you too, bro. Like they'll start all this.
Respect it. Nigga,
I'm sorry,
Appreciate it.
chat. I'm sorry, chat, but we're being honest with you. We promise.
It's
I think
okay.
it was just
Most
one
people in the
of them.
chat are in agreement. Rishi in the
Yeah.
chat said, "I'll get on Blue Sky the day someone posts a fly out story."
we
need
got to
that.
at least get to there, right? That's a
We need some
great
negativity.
point. It got to be a big back nigga on the corner of the bed. Remember that nigga?
Yeah.
Remember that?
No,
Remember that
dog,
double decker
no.
sandwich build ass?
Dog, the funniest
You see a
tweet
Big
I
Mac sit with legs, sit on it in the bed. You know what I'm saying? Sick because he ain't getting no cutty because he lied, nigga. You
Nigga,
know, he
the-
misrepresented himself.
The funniest tweet I ever saw about that picture was when someone said that was Killer Mike after Bernie Sanders lost the primary. That's all I think about every time I see that shit. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I think people are leaving
He
Twitter
had so
because
many plans and none of them went the
And
way
none
he
of
thought they were. No, yeah, you can see all the plans. Like you can see the damn. I thought anyway. Go ahead. What you about to say? Down?
Yeah, I think people just hate the racism and the bigotry on Twitter, right? Like I think that's where shit
understand,
got too much for
And
them,
the
right?
AI fucking Trump t-shirt advertisements.
Yes.
Oh,
I hate-
yeah.
I'm tired
Oh,
of
my
that shit.
God. Yeah.
All Trumpers look like that. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas look like the motherfuckers. I'm from a red state that I don't claim, nigga. You know, I'm from St. Louis, USA. Fuck Missouri. But them, I see Missouri. Them niggas, the white people in Missouri look like motherfucking children under the stairs, nigga. The hills have eyes, nigga. Tyler went there. Remember that one show in West Virginia when the motherfucker was like, jingling some Percocets? This the Boone County main call. That's every motherfucking white motherfucker. Except for my nigga Franco. He cool. The other niggas is weird.
I think the thing with Twitter, it is Stockholm syndrome, but there's a I forget the name of the way our brain works, but it's the reason why slot machines work. It's like the variable reward feedback loop or something like that. The human brain, if you tell it, pull this lever, you get a marshmallow. We'll pull the lever 3 times, get 3 marshmallows, and move on with his life. If you tell the same brain you have a 1% chance of getting a marshmallow, it will sit there until it dies, pulling the lever, because it doesn't know whether it's getting a marshmallow or not. And that is why Twitter getting worse has almost made, I think, the core users that we're friends with more addicted to it, because you have to work a little harder to get the good part of Twitter. But the way our brains work is that does not make you less likely to log on to the app. That's what all social media is based on. That's why you pull it down with your thumb to actually mimic the shit. They intentionally built that into the design. Like, Twitter sucking ass is part of why I can't get off Twitter. And I recognize that it's the case.
So funny, bro. We say some wild things and normalize it. We normalize some very weird things. You know what I'm saying? I saw somebody yell, "That's horse shit." You really said horse shit? Like that was a normal thing for you to say in front of other people. Horse shit. Why the fuck are you talking about horse shit? What type of nigga gonna be like, that's horse shit? I could never imagine just saying that in a moment. You know what I'm saying? Twitter sucks ass. That's normal. That was a very normal statement, Mike. It's
Yeah,
a normal
absolutely.
statement. How is that normal? It's normal.
Crazy.
I don't know.
Bro, like I said, I think the hate and the bigotry is what drove people to Blue Sky, and I get that because I'm cool with some fucking animosity. Like I'm cool with you, wishing death on me if I clown the Cowboys. I know that comes with the territory. But why am I being called a jigaboo? Why am I being called a jigaboo just because I said I got a baconator from Wendy's today? Like, what does that have to do with anything, bro? Like, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? That's the bullshit that people are escaping from, and I get that.
I mean, y'all don't be on there for a lot. Yeah, no more like that for real. I kind of like, poof, you feel me? But yeah, like it's like, dog, calling you a jigaboo for everybody likes baconators.
Exactly.
Baconators. We all like a good baconator. What's wrong with liking a baconator? That's what was tripping on me. Like, well, fried chicken. You saying
Baconator was that was my old school.
Yeah,
That was when hey, if I got $5 in my pocket instead of $3, I'm not getting a junior bacon cheeseburger.
Hey, look,
I'm getting a baconator.
Mike,
I'm gonna
see
take
a
a
nigga with a
picture with
baconator. You did it. You made it. Congratulations.
Taking pictures of myself with the
on a
baconator.
Wednesday. Right. I made it, guys. He'd be on the cover of that motherfucker with a baconator.
Leaned up on a
baconator. That's crazy, dog. But that's why I trip off. Like, remember, say fried chicken and watermelon. Everybody eat fried chicken and watermelon. Who the fuck don't like fried chicken and watermelon? You know what I'm saying?
There would not be a booming fast food fried chicken industry if it was dependent on 13% of this nation's population.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, let's be real here.
Everybody love watermelon. They wouldn't sell it if only niggas ate that shit. You know what I'm saying? The fuck? Crazy.
All right. Were there any other chat Dookie butts?
No.
That was we went off on a good Dookie butt though, chat. That sent us off on a great
A lot of Dookie on that one.
A lot of
Dookie.
On that baconator, brother.
It reminds me of the time. All right, that's all the time we got. Jenkins and Jonez this week. We'll be back Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern with a very special guest you will not want to miss that episode. And then Thanksgiving week, that's all we're doing this week, right? Is this one, the
Correct.
Wednesday one, and then next Sunday night, I believe as well. So we'll see y'all then. Bye.
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 Go get y'all a baconator.